just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good time. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in, say,
oh, God.
So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. Helmet. He's punching me in the stomach, like steady punching me.
Here, and there's everyone sitting around. Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I fucking saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time to start the show.
Why would I have that?
You had the circus or something.
6:03, I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they're all fatter than I am.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
I mean, you're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Good evening. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, May 15th. I hope everybody had a great weekend, and I hope that everybody has survived the weekend. It was a tough weekend if you're an LSU baseball fan. We're going to get into all of that. I have not pressed the panic button. Nobody here has pressed the panic button. We have taken the panic button out of the room, though.
Looked at it.
And we have looked at it and talked about it, but nothing's been pressed. At the end of the day, LSU is still ranked number 5 in the country. They can go out and right the ship this weekend, win 2 out of 3, no more sweep talk. Just win the series at this point, move on, get it to the SEC tournament, do what you got to do there, and just get to the postseason, right? Host a super regional. Host a super regional here at LSU. Host a regional, be a national seed, host a regional, host a super regional. Anything can happen. I will say this. I'm being a little over dramatic in this situation. It is not good. The bullpen is not good. Offense is very good. I was very encouraged by the starting pitching this weekend. The bullpen, nothing gave me any confidence in the bullpen. Not saying that they aren't capable. They are very capable. A lot of walks, a lot of free passes. Within those walks, getting behind in counts, allowing these guys to have a ton of hits, a team that is not very good. I mean, Mississippi State had lost 7 straight SEC games. They had not won SEC weekend all year.
Except for Ole Miss.
Except for Ole Miss. And then they take 2 out of 3 against us at home. Not good, right? We're going to talk it through. We have a big baseball show today. We have Jamie Tutko, the infamous Jamie Tutko, the guy who got tossed but didn't get tossed from the dugout. He is the Director of Player Development / Video Coordinator, Scouting Director for LSU. Does a lot for them. He does a lot of the analytical work. He does a lot of the videos. Jay talks to him a lot based off of matchups, based off of what these guys have and what they don't, like who they're good against, who they're not good against. Obviously, we're going to talk to him about the ins and outs of the analytical world because analytics are a huge part of baseball, and it's only going to continue to be that way and continue to be more important in baseball. He's a huge addition to the team. He is a friend of ours, and so I'm excited to talk to him about that type of baseball. We also have Cade Beloso coming in studio at 7 o'clock. We can ask him all the questions that we need to ask him about the psyche of the team, the mentality of the team, what's going on behind the scenes right now after they've lost 2 straight weekends after not losing a series all year. They've played the last 3 weekends of the SEC based off of the schedule, based off of what you would anticipate would not be the toughest conference series of the year. But they got beat against Auburn. Now, Auburn is playing good baseball. Auburn is now firmly in postseason contention. They are now 14-13 in conference. They had a big weekend this weekend. Mississippi State, not so much. Mississippi State took 2 out of 3 from LSU at home, and it was not pretty, and we're going to talk about all of that. LSU is still in it. It is also Monday, which is Ask Mikey and Mitch Day. We have a lot of questions about Ask Mikey and Mitch. We have Jamie coming in 21 minutes, so let's get to these questions. Let's just have a conversation about baseball before he comes in, because we're going to have a lot of baseball talk, but I do want to get to all the questions. Before we get there, real quick, Jay, your 1-minute synopsis of the weekend.
Can't pitch it, can't win it. Do I need to say more?
That's pretty good. It's pretty good right
Hey, but seriously, like, you got 2 strong starts. You got
2.5, really.
Well, if you want to, 2 1/3.
Yeah.
But the third was what he expected because he wasn't supposed to be
Right.
extended anyway. But when we handed the ball over to the bullpen this weekend, it was easily just not very good.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, just wasn't good.
Disaster.
I don't think there's any other way to say it. I don't think there's any way to sugarcoat it. If you are going to pitch like that, I don't care how good your offense is, and I truly don't care how good of a start you get from the starters. Sooner or later, probably more sooner than later, you're going to lose games that you should win. You're going to give up 9-run leads. You're going to give up 20-plus earned runs in a weekend. That's what's going to happen.
Coach, they were 1 run and 2 innings away from 10-run ruling them, and they lose the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
On Saturday, they were winning, and then it wasn't even close at the end of the game. So the bullpen is a serious concern.
And you kind of saw both of them be 2 opposite problems. Like Saturday, they came in, if you want to say through strikes, however you want to say it, but they just gave up the butt. Like, they literally 3 innings, 9 hits, I think maybe 9 runs or 9 earned runs, something crazy like that. And then on Sunday, we can't throw strikes.
And then once you start walking guys and putting guys on base and getting behind in counts, then the hits start coming, right?
And if there's any, I guess, glimmer of hope, right, is me. I'm gonna really say this, and I honestly mean it, and it's not just being the most like optimist you could be, but we do know how young that bullpen part of the staff is. Correct, right? If this is their rough edges and their struggles, and now they can get over the hump and go forward, good God, think it happened now, right?
Right.
But that's the one thing you're hoping for, because you saw them before probably the last 2 weekends, really, where you saw a little bit of struggle, but they were still successful, right? And when you're still successful, I don't care really who you are, you don't really think you need to change shit.
Right.
So hopefully this is like a wake-up look in the mirror, like, I don't care what you were doing before, just go look at the numbers. It ain't good.
Right.
So let's figure out something else to do, and hopefully that's where it goes forward.
And it's not over. It's not over. Like, they literally could go out there, win the series this weekend, and end up winning the West and winning the whole SEC, right? The other teams lost. They need a little help. They don't control their own destiny. But at the end of the day, you go out and win this series, and you go to the SEC tournament, you're going to be a top 8 national seed, and you're going to be able to host games here in Baton Rouge. That's the most important thing.
Can I sidebar this? This is completely off of really what they did this weekend, but this kind of goes to the conversation that's been underlying the entire LSU baseball season. Right now, if you were choosing one to win you a game right now, like literally right now, and you had the number 1 pick, who you taking? Paul Skenes or Dylan Cruz? If this is the situation that your team's in. Feel what I'm saying? So, like, my point is if you're looking forward to the MLB draft, Dylan is, in my opinion, the best player that is in college baseball that plays every day right now. the decision's not that easy when you have that kind of arm on the mound.
Yeah.
And how quickly can he help you, and how much can he help you, and for how little money can he help you at the big league level every day? You don't find those often, right? Because if we don't have a Paul Skenes, there's a very good chance they got swept at home this weekend.
Right.
You know? So, like, that's, when we go back to the conversation of, or whenever that conversation gets revisited again, that's how easy and that's how much I think it's very hard to sit here and say, let's just pass on the Skenes because Cruz is there. And that does nothing to diminish the talent and the ability and the performance that Dylan has put together in his 3 years here so far.
Yeah. I agree. All right, let's get to these questions because we don't have that much time before Jamie comes on. We're going to get to the ones we don't get to. We're going to get to at the end of the show after.
Yeah, continue to fill up the YouTube chat with them. We have some.
We have a ton from social
We
media.
have a ton from Twitter, but I just want to keep it rolling because
course.
we're
going to get to all of them. We're going to try to get to all of them, as many as we can get to.
Roll them.
All right, so you want to start? How do we want to do this? Ask Mikey Mitch, brought to you by FCO Development.
Brought to you by FCO Development. Are they in the document?
Yeah, they're at
Yes,
the bottom.
they are. They're at the bottom.
There is an Ask My Kid.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'm trying to get to
trying
the bottom.
I'm grabbing the ones from YouTube right now.
All right, first question.
Trying
Do
to
you
scroll past
think,
all these has me.
and I'm not going to go as in depth with all of them. We're going to answer them, but we just want to try to get to them. Do you think the bullpen issues are because of Wes Johnson or the inability of the guys being able to execute quality pitches? I think it's because of the guys having the inability to execute quality pitches. Like, you can do everything you want to do leading up to the game, but the guy performing on the field has got to execute it. And right now we're not executing anything.
I agree. I think it's the inability to execute quality pitches. Look, I'm not giving excuses to these guys, but to be able to get to an LSU, in my opinion, as on the mound means that there's a very, very, very high chance that while you're in high school and or summer ball, you're probably a starter.
Right.
And some of these guys are coming in and asked to take on new roles and roles that they probably didn't think they really were going to get a chance to do over and over again because they were not the guys once the season started. But they had guys that go down, right? And so now you're thrusting them into new roles and they're having to figure it out on the run in the best league in the country. And however you want to look at it, I think it takes some time to figure it out.
I agree. All right, next one. What is the mindset / attitude of the team? Are they an even keel team? In the last number of series, including ones that they won but perhaps should have swept, do you think their mindset has been overly confident or overly expectant of victory as they carried the number one ranking? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think the mindset as of today is I think they're realizing that we can be beat. Like, legit can be beat. So it is hey, I don't care if we put up 13. It may not be enough. Hey, I don't care if we shut them out on the mound the day before. The next day, it doesn't matter. And I think that they're starting to see some of, in a way, like, hey, you can be as confident as you want, as cocky as you want, whatever you want to call it, but there is a respect that has to be given to the other side. And I think they are starting to understand that a little bit more. And this is a good time of the year to do it.
And I don't think that they're like overly confident to where like, oh, they don't think they could be beat, right? I just think that right now they're understanding like, hey, we're not as perfect. We're not as like we're flawed. We're not a perfect team, which could be a good thing moving forward. Now it's up to them to make those adjustments and make the necessary changes internally. Right? Because the coaching staff can only do so much. It's up to the players to make that decision and say, okay, we've got to be better.
And let me reference this by saying this. When I say that they know they can be beat now, is that if I flip this thing back, I remember when I go back to 2008 and we went on that ridiculous winning streak. It was when we got to that point of the year. Every game that we played, it didn't really matter if we felt like we started well and had good at bats. It didn't really matter if we were getting just straight shoved against or whatever. But we felt like as soon as that fifth inning walk happened, we were like, everyone looked around and was like, there it is. Now we go. Like, you knew we could turn it on and it could get going at any time. And I think on this side of the ball now, they're realizing that can happen on that side too. So how do we stop the avalanche, if you will, when it starts? That's what I think they're realizing.
Yeah, agree. Next
one
reading
up,
now?
Gavin Cohen on Twitter is the recent
Well,
struggle.
this one's kind of similar to the one we just kind of talked
They're
about.
all going to be very much about the same thing.
Okay.
I can ask a different one if you would like.
No, you can ask. I mean, this will be a quick answer. But go ahead.
Okay. From Gavin Cohen on Twitter, the recent struggles and slip possibly a good thing since the number 1 seed seems to never win at all.
So I mean, I think it's a good thing in the sense of that they're going to make them make a decision. It's only a good thing if they make those changes. It's not a good thing if they crumble and they don't make those adjustments and they play better. But it's a good thing if they make those changes and they become a better team and they get to where they need to be. I don't think the number 1 ranking are like, hey, the history of being the number 1 team in the country and not winning it. I don't think that like just because they're not number 1 doesn't mean, oh, now they're definitely going to go win it. I think it's about how you make the adjustment after these 2 weekends.
I think it's a good thing and only a good thing in the sense of if you thought that the only way you could be a success this year is by being number 1, staying number 1, and winning at number 1, you're dead wrong.
Right.
If you thought that you weren't going to get punched in the mouth and you weren't going to have to show a way to get back up and actually keep fighting, you're probably dead wrong. And I think it's going to give them, the coaching staff, the players, everyone involved in this situation, kind of a look in the mirror and to see who you really are. And you get to kind of figure that thing out probably quicker than not figuring out if you don't get these gut punches right here. So,
All right, next one up. How deep of a run do the boys need to make in Hoover to secure a top 8 national seed? And this is assuming LSU takes 2 of 3 at UGA. Jimmy Morales.
I don't think they have to win anything in Hoover. I don't think they have to make a deep run to have a top 8 national seed. I mean, you'd like to see them win at least one game. You know what I mean? You'd like to see them win their first game with probably Paul Skenes on the mound. But they don't have to make, like, they're not, like, if they win this weekend, they're not fighting for a number 8, like the top 8 now. They're there. Like, if they win it this weekend, they are a top 8 national seed.
couldn't have said it any better. They win a series this weekend. They can go 2-2 in the tournament. Honestly, they should still be a top 8 national seed.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Can I rephrase the question?
Sure.
What if they don't take 2 of 3 at Georgia?
Well, then they got to make a little run.
Yeah. Then they're going to have to play well. They'd have to play.
If they lose.
And honestly, they'd have to win at least one in my book. But I would say if you gave them 2 ball games where they went 10-plus innings and they somehow lost both of those and they go 2-2 in the tournament still, but they had good performances, like, you know, just it was aesthetically good losses, if you will, right? I think there's still a chance.
Yeah.
But that's a
Let's
very
not talk
low,
about losing
that's
series.
my point is that's a very low percentage thing anyway.
Yeah.
I think if they were not to win this weekend, they need to play well in the tournament.
Yep.
And kind of piggybacking off of that is another question that I think is relevant in terms of what we're talking about. Hold on. Okay, with 19 or 20, if 19-10 or 20-9, almost guaranteeing a top 8 seed if LSU wins the series this weekend, do you think that Skenes or Floyd should pitch in Hoover?
Yes. Cannot mess. I mean, you have to keep them on a routine, right? On a rhythm. You have to keep them in their routine, keep them sharp for the regional, because you take them off of the mound for the first time all year, and you want these guys to hit the ground running the next weekend. Like that, baseball is very much of a rhythm game.
Routine.
Yeah, they got to throw.
Why are you laughing?
Just because, I mean, yeah, like they just have to throw.
They have to throw.
They just have to throw.
Yeah.
Shifting from defense to offense a little bit. Our first one from the YouTube chat. Do you agree with the decision to sit Jones and add Pearson Klings on Sunday? It seems like it's our best lineup from Chris H.
You want to go?
I do like adding one of those two. Sitting Jones, like as if like he's gonna be the spot pinch at bat for the rest of the year, in my opinion, is not a great idea at all. I think there's way too much presence, way too much pop, way too much production at this point of the year too as well to say, oh, that guy doesn't deserve a spot. But I do love the thought process of, hey, in a way you're not really as safe. Keep singing for your supper, right, and keeping guys hungry. So I'm fine with it. I'm sure they've had conversation. I'm sure it's not really much headbutting and animosity going on in the clubhouse, and I think they'll find a way to move forward and be productive.
I mean, listen, Jones is a freshman. He has 14 homers. Like, Jared's fine. He just sometimes you need to take a step back, and he's struggling a little bit, and he needed to find. Sometimes watching it from the sideline is the best learning experience. And so I agree with the decision. I don't think that he's going to be in the. I don't think he's going to be out of the lineup the rest of the year, though. I think that he's going to have his times and he's going to play and he's going to still have some big hits in the postseason. Is he in the deal? All right, let's just start early so that we can have some other. We answer some of these other questions. It's a big Ask Mikey and Mitch day.
Yes.
We're gonna answer as many questions as we can. There's not going to be much conversation today outside of baseball. I know a lot of people are panicking. That's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here to help ease the panic. We're going to take
Make sense of it all.
Yeah, make sense of it. We're going to try to make sense of it all. We're going to take a 1-minute break, get Jamie situated in the on deck circle. We'll get him on camera in 1 minute. You're watching Mik'd Up. We'll be right back. Located on 3723 Government Street. Everybody knows about their world famous steaks and their hot tamales, but what you may not know is that they're open for lunch every day from 11 to 2. Great people, great environment. Their lunch menu is fire. What's the best thing on the menu?
If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try the burger. Unbelievable, best burger in town.
Best burger in town. If you're looking for lunch, 11 to 2 at Dozy Place. Again, they're located on 3723 Government Street. Give them a shot. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. I said a minute. It's only 30 seconds. We got a big show. Got a packed show today. I am excited to introduce our next guest. He is a friend of ours. If you see us in the games with some tickets, he's probably the reason why we got some of them. Now we got media passes. Don't need them anymore. I appreciate Jamie Tutko. He is the Director of Player Development and Director of Video and Scouting for LSU Baseball. Jamie, appreciate you joining the show. First time on the show. Welcome.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Let me first off start by saying you guys do a phenomenal job with the show. I've watched it a few times here and there. A little busy during the season, but every time I watch it, man, I'm super entertained, and you guys really do a great job.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. You're also the bad boy of the dugout.
I was going to say, that's when you get to watch the show.
Yeah, you're the bad boy of the dugout. Ejected, not ejected. Maybe you were, and then you slid away and forced someone else to get ejected. What happened there?
Hey, you know what? Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think any of us really know exactly what happened. So, for those of you that were watching the game, obviously there was a balk call that was not called the inning before on their starting pitcher, on Auburn's starting pitcher, and we were not happy about that, and we kind of let the umpire know from the dugout. So that happens, right? And the next inning, Ty Floyd gets called with a balk, and so there was quite a few things shouted from the dugout, and he rung somebody quick. I mean, it was super quick, and nobody really knew who it was, and I don't think anybody still to this day really knows exactly who got ejected.
They just picked you. Go.
They just, yeah. Jay came back to the dugout after talking to him and pointed at me, and I was like, "Oh, well, I guess I gotta go." The guy in a polo gets ejected, no. So I go back into the locker room they got there behind the dugout, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like my phone's blowing up. I'm getting 40 text messages. Coach Maneri's texting me like, "Did you really just get thrown out of the game?" So, yeah, having to deal with all that. And
you think Maneri would have handled that pretty well whenever he was there?
No, I don't think so.
No, he was locked in enough to be the first one texting him too. That's even funnier.
Yeah, so I get back to the little locker room and I'm watching the game on TV they got back there, and all of a sudden there's another, a couple batters later, obviously that Butch Thompson comes out and they got the argument there, and you see that JJ gets ejected, and I'm thinking, JJ, like that guy, he literally did not say anything. And if anybody's going to get ejected, it's not going to be JJ, but he gets rung for whatever reason, and so I was like, screw this, I'm going back in the dugout. Here we go. So, but still, I don't think anybody really knows what happened and who was the actual intended injection.
No, that's crazy. Well, I'm glad you're there because I know that you do a lot of work behind the scenes. I know Jay asked a lot, like your input of a lot of the situations and moves to make based off the analytics. Analytics, listen, whether you love it or you hate it, analytics are part of baseball, and they're not going away. They're going to continue to evolve. I think there's a very it's very important to have a middle ground of analytics, using the information for what it is, but then also understanding using your eyes and using the baseball sense of it. How have because when you've been in this role for a little while, how has that role evolved in your time here as far as video, analytics, all of that type of stuff that you are in charge of?
Well, it's obviously grown a lot. I mean, you talk about at the Division I college level now, especially in the SEC. 5 years ago, not everybody had the TrackMan units. Not everybody had the ability to have there wasn't as much data out there.
Wait, Jamie, can you pull your mic out a little bit? There we go. Wait, very good. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Unplug it. What?
Unplug it and plug it back in. Let's try that again.
All right.
I think maybe the connection's it's up. It may be on our side.
Can you hear me?
Oh, still a little.
It's still a little.
We can hear you.
We can hear you just a little.
Is it
choppy.
bumping on anything?
Can you talk?
It's free.
Okay.
You may want to just take it out. Take them out completely.
Can you hear me now?
No, unplug the. Unplug it all the way from the computer. All right, now go.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I don't know if
it's a little bit better. Let's keep. We'll keep going. We're gonna work with it. Keep going.
All right. You sure you got me?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. All right. So the way it's evolved is 5 years ago in Division I baseball, there wasn't a ton of data. There wasn't the ability. Not everybody had the TrackMan units where you could get all the analytics and basically everything. And so now everybody in the SEC has it, and I would imagine that it's close to 2/3 of every one university has the TrackMan units now. So we're in the sharing portal, so we get all of this data. We're able to use the analytics more now than we were 5 years ago, and obviously it's evolving, right? The game is evolving. The game is different. Today than it was 5 years ago. It just is what it is. Again, with the analytics stuff, we're using it and we're doing our due diligence with it, but we also understand that it's not everything. It's not the end all be all, and we totally understand that side of it. I think a lot of big league teams can get kind of lost in the trap of you got to play these certain matchups because the analytics say it and this says it, and we look at that. We know what the matchups say. So all be all again. And I played in college. I'm not an economics guy. I'm not I'm a baseball guy through and through who kind of learned some of the analytics stuff. So, I understand that the game's hard. It's extremely hard. I get it. It's not easy to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, round ball with a round bat, and to throw a ball to the plate. It's not an easy game. We try to use the analytics as much as we can, but we also know that again, it's not the end all be all at all.
Yeah. Hey, Jamie, we're gonna call you right back. I think it's on our end, but it's a little connection issue. I'm gonna call you right back. Or you call drop it and then call right back in.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Technology. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the connection is just messed up and it's the internet and it's weird. It's part of it.
And I'm glad we've gotten to that point here where we're comfortable enough to ask people to. All right.
Yeah, that's just. That had nothing to do.
It sounded great in the beginning.
It was just internet, I think.
Yeah. So, analytics guy, huh?
Analytics don't have anything to do with the internet. Analytics of the internet doesn't change. He's not fixing the internet.
Oh, there we go.
Is that better?
Is that better?
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
there we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about how it's evolving and it's moving and it's growing and it's not the end all be all, right? You use some of the baseball sense and you use some of the analytics, but you understand at the end of the day, you're going to put the player in the best position to succeed. It's not always about the numbers. How have y'all utilized technology to better improve not only the guys in the game in the actual game, but in practice, and pitching, the pitching lab and then the hitting lab and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we're using it. We're literally using it every day. I think that one of the biggest ways that we're using it now would be really from a scouting side. Just we're getting a better understanding of more of the analytics and just looking at what pitches are doing and understanding just by looking at, basically the numbers on certain guys that, okay, this, without even watching any video, you just look at kind of like the TrackMan, the Excel reports, and you can say, okay, well, this is a guy with a shorter release height. He's going to have a little bit of carry on his fastball with a higher induce. So he's a guy that's going to pitch up in the zone. So you can kind of develop somewhat of a scouting report based off of just looking at some of the numbers. So then we go back and watch the video to see if it, all lines up. And, we're really using it from that side of it, just from a full understanding from, within the staff, like kind of really diving into like, okay, hey, this is what this pitch is going to do from this certain guy. So this is how we're going to develop our report. And then this is how we're going to relay that to our hitters and, kind of go that route.
Jamie, when breaking down analytics and the development of it and how rapidly it's growing, and it has grown obviously over the last, 5 years or so, when you first got into doing this compared to where it is right now, is there any stat or any analytical numbers that you guys use that 5 years ago really wasn't even on the radar, and now it's a big part of how you kind of go about doing whatever it is that you may be doing?
I wouldn't say that some of the stuff wasn't on the radar. It just was really more of like an understanding of what a lot of it means. It can be extremely overwhelming and really, tough to dive into if it can be scary to look at. You look at like, for our TrackMan reports, for example, when a game is over, for every single pitch that is thrown in the game, there's upwards of probably 150 rows of data from that one pitch that is thrown in a game. So if you just look at the entire report of a full game, it's like, oh my goodness, this looks scary. Like I don't even know what half this means. So it was more of like, we had all this stuff and it was cool to say we had it, but we didn't use it. We didn't know how to use it. And now we're gaining a better understanding of A, what certain guys do well on our team, and B, what, again, to go back to the scouting side of like, what are these other guys for other teams doing well, and how are they going to try to attack us? And then we use that type of technology and that insight on what a certain guy is going to do into our prep work. And we've got a full machine now that you can put in it's a spin ball machine. You can put in the numbers and literally the ball will spit out exactly what.
What's the name of Is the pitcher machine?
The pitcher's going to do.
Is the pitcher machine?
Spin ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We use that. We use that in who the first team I ever played against that had that was Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay they would take that and they would put it on the field and they would plug in all the numbers from our pitchers that we're about to face, and they would just hit BP off of it. And I was like, they're facing the starter and they're getting 55 swings off the starter before they even get to face him in the game. It's a real deal. It's awesome. I think it's awesome.
It's unbelievable. I mean, and to be honest, man, like there's even cooler stuff out there. There's one out there now that like the machine will move back and forth on like the rubber essentially, and will go up and down, and then it shoots out like a like remember when we were kids, man, you'd go and face face Randy Johnson and come out like shoot out of the little hole. It has that basically, and it's shooting out of the pitching machine. So that's the technology is unbelievable, and again it's like you said. I mean, you can go in there and face this guy's you see literally 50 straight fastballs that this guy's going to throw, and it's exactly what it looks like in on the mound in a game.
With so much stuff available and so much that you can do in game, before games, after games, in the cage, however you want to look at it. When game time comes, it's still guy on the rubber trying to get you out, and or the opposite way around, guy at the plate trying to get a hit off of you. How do you either manage or minimize the information that's available for these players to be able to give it to them and give them what they need, but also be able to keep them understanding that you still have to play the game?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. And, our thought process as a staff is like, we want these guys to understand what they do well, especially up from the pitching side. Like we want them to know, hey, I have a fastball that's like got flat run essentially, or I have a fastball that's got carry. My breaking ball does this. So we want them to understand and know exactly what they do well. But at the same time, we preach to them again, that's not the end all be all. Like if we got a guy that's coming in after he throws an inning in a scrimmage, like in the fall, and he's like, hey, what was my vertical run there on that pitch? Like, no, that's where we're shutting that down. Like it's time to go compete. You know, we worry about that stuff on the side, and we're not talking about any of that stuff in game, especially from a pitching side. So you're 1,000% correct, man. It's again, it's a tough game. It's an extremely hard game. We know that the analytics is not everything. It's so hard to go out there and compete, and you know, this game is just it's tough.
Yeah.
So you know, but again, we're going to use the analytics, and we want these guys to be somewhat familiar with them. And I mean, you guys, you know, both of you guys played pro ball, obviously. You know that analytics is everything in pro ball, even at the minor league level now. So we don't want it to be foreign to them when they get to the next level and be like, hey, what does any of this stuff mean? You know, like they're gonna learn it there. So you know, we could use it here.
My last few years in pro ball, like it used to be, oh, what does this pitcher throw? Okay, he throws a 93 mile an hour fastball. He's got a hard slider.
It's 3 to 6 when he was really 2 that day.
Yeah.
And it never got to 3.
Right. But my last 3 years, it was like, all right, what's his induced vertical break? Oh, this guy's got a 20. Okay, he's going to have a little carry on his fastball. I got to stay on top of it. He's going to pitch at the top of the zone because, like, it changed the whole way. And honestly, I liked it better because now I can go compete. Now I don't have to worry about, okay, this fastball is at 92, but it's playing at 96 because it's riding up on me. So I agree with you. Like, that is the way scouting reports are being reported to the players now in pro ball, and why not start it now in college ball? And I guess this brings us to my next point is Wes Johnson comes in from pro ball, comes in from the Twins, right? So he comes here, and he's known as being, now listen, people listening to this show right now probably are not very happy because the bullpen has not been great, and they have a lot of probably their own opinions on things, but I think Wes Johnson is a great coach. I think he's going to be great. At the end of the day, you still have to go out and compete, and the guys have to execute the pitches. But how has he taken what he's learned in pro ball as far as the analytical side, brought it back to college and worked with you and worked with the pitchers to improve the ability to whether it increase spin rate, increase velocity, and help them improve as pitchers?
Yeah, and no, you're 100% right again. Like, you know, Wes Johnson is hands down the best pitching coach in the country, and it's without a question. I mean, he's the most forward-thinking coach I've ever been around. He not only, you know, understands and open to it, but like he truly has a full grasp of every bit of the analytics while also being a baseball guy. And I think that's kind of why him and I have gotten along so well, is that, you know, we get the analytics side. We understand the analytics. We know that it can be extremely helpful and useful. But we know that there's a time and a place for it. But what he's brought from the big leagues down, one of the bigger things of it is just an understanding of like, hey, this is gonna this certain type of, you know, number essentially. Let's take it for example, like this certain type of carry is gonna play at the big league level, or the difference between, you know, velo with a fastball and a changeup, we need it to be this much difference because this is what plays at the next level. You know, like it's just all the stuff that you know, we think, you know, could be okay. This could be, you know, a plus metric on a pitch, but in actuality, it's not when you get to the next level. So again, just bringing that understanding from, you know, the highest level of baseball to here, and just, you know, just really again letting these guys understand what they do well and what we need to do better. You know, while we're working on a lot of different things.
Yep. Especially as a young player, like this is really tough to understand because truthfully, you don't play the game every day. So it's really, really, really hard to understand feel when you really don't have to go, I guess, 100% every day. But with the use of video and analytics, maybe when you see, I guess, either upticks or spikes in maybe some of these numbers, are you able to tell if a guy's healthy, if a guy if a guy's hurting a little bit, if a guy's feeling really good at a time, if they're actually efficient in their body movements or however it goes, or things like that break down? Are you able to kind of see those things by kind of marrying the two together?
Yeah, and our strength coach, Derek Groomer, does a phenomenal job with, you know, with that side of all of it. And, you know, we've got these guys that do arm testing stuff every single day. This arm testing deal basically like kind of spits out a number and tells you like where their arm is from a health perspective. Before, you know, again, every single day, not just game days, but practice days as well. We're monitoring the arm stuff. You know, it's really after a guy throws and you know, maybe they throw 15, 20 pitches to see if he's up the next day, how we're recovering. But again, mirroring that with the TrackMan data. Yeah, there are some, you know, tells that you can see, you know, if the the release height is slightly dropping, the guy's probably getting a little tired, which is going to put more stress on the arm, obviously. Little things like that, like the spin can change. If a guy's wearing down a little bit, the spin might drop a little, and might not have as much carry on a heater, right? When Ty's going really, really good, he's obviously got a plus carry fastball, and but when he starts to get tired a little bit, he'll get on the side of the ball, so we can see like kind of the tilt out of the hand. When he gets on the side of the ball too, he doesn't get as much carry, so we can kind of tell from that aspect too. So yeah, it's go ahead.
When you talk carry, right? Because we talk about Ty Floyd, how he has that riding fastball, but he also has a low arm slot, right? So it accentuates the carry even more because he's not throwing from up here. He's almost throwing from here, right? He's 6'2", but he's probably throwing from, 5'10" arm slot or whatever it is. I mean, you would know. What is his carry? Can you explain to our listeners exactly what that means?
Yeah, so Ty is like a perfect mix to have a carry fastball. When we talk about carry fastball, we talk about like a high-induced vertical break, four-seam fastball, where they can pitch up in the zone. He's got a lower release height. It's under 5'10". He gets 19 to 20-plus inches of carry on every fastball when he's going really good. So when you see that fastball that plays, when it reads on the radar gun at 94, 95, to a hitter, that feels like 97, 98, if not harder. So he can really pitch up in the zone with it. So again, when he gets to be on the side of the ball a little bit, it doesn't have as much. But when we talk about like a true carry heater, it's not necessarily that he has to pitch up in the zone at all times. We're starting to find out that right on right he can go down.
That's the worst pitch for me. I hated that as a hitter.
The carry heater down.
Yes.
So those are tough, right? Especially, so Ty's got, again, a lower release height, so he can pitch up in the zone and get away with more. The guys that have a higher release height, that have plus-induced vertical break, Grant Taylor, for example. Okay, Grant Taylor had like a 6'6" release height, something like that, where he would get 20 inches of carry, but it didn't play the same. So guys, it's funny, guys would come back and say, God bless, like, that's just, it almost looks like coming from such a high release with that carry, that those pitches that are down, it looks like it's kind of coming on a roller coaster, right? And it just it looks like it's going to be down at that last minute. It almost looks like it just planes out and planes out and it's for a strike. So guys are like, God bless, like I saw that ball is down out of the hand and I'm getting rung up on a pitch. It's 97. Like, what is going on? So again, knowing how we can use that, and the only difference between Ty and Grant Taylor is the release height. That's literally the only difference.
Yeah.
So, again, knowing all that type of stuff, you can use it and play with it differently. And again, having these guys have an understanding of what they do well, it helps when they're on the mound.
So now, obviously, the portal is a lot easier because there's probably more information about it. How do you use this kind of stuff when it comes to recruiting high school kids, really, because you're grabbing kids from all over the country who are playing all over the place. They may have some games played over the summer where they're able to get this kind of information. How do you use these things in high school, and how heavily is it actually used in high school recruiting?
It's getting more every year, to be honest with you. I mean, these kids go play in these perfect game showcases. They go to Atlanta and play there all summer, and most of those games have TrackMan. Most of those stadiums, those quad fields out there, they've all got a TrackMan unit, and so we're able to grab all that data. We've got the sharing portal with TrackMan where we can get pretty much everything that is tagged and logged into their system. So it is used. There's no doubt. I mean, obviously we're going and looking at trying to find outliers. I mean, the biggest thing with some of this analytic stuff in pitching is like you want to be different. You anything that's different is obviously good, and you just can't be normal. So we're trying to find little outliers, but we also understand that some of these kids are 15, 16, 17 years old. And, by the time they get here, their bodies have changed and they're getting bigger and stronger. And some of these numbers are changing where, in pro ball and in the big leagues, really, like these guys are who they are. You know what I mean? Like Justin Verlander's numbers are not really going to change. He is exactly who he is. So, you gotta take some of it with a grain of salt. But we definitely are looking at it, and we're looking at for some random outliers that might stick out from those young kids.
I love that you said that, because it's funny to me, like, I guess if you want to integrate it kind of with old school recruiting, if if we're looking at numbers, we want the outlier. The outlier basically means you stick out from the rest of the other guys, which basically means you probably have a little extra. But what if we're looking at a guy who's not really an outlier, but old school statistics, he's basically dominated everywhere he goes? How do you evaluate a kid that's like that?
Well, we just look at like, hey, if he's dominated everywhere he goes, what is he doing and how is he dominating? You know, whether it's like, hey, maybe the metrics don't show very well on the fastball, but you know, the breaking ball shows that as plus, and he's getting plus swing and miss, and that's all stuff that you can really see with your eyes, you know. So it's more of a breakdown of like, what are you doing well? What does he do well? How does he get guys out with, you know, some below average metrics? Maybe that's a deception piece. I mean, obviously I've probably seen plenty of guys that, like, from when you just look at their stuff on numbers, you're like, okay, this guy's 88 to 91, and you know, there's not much metrics out there. It doesn't play very well. It's not like it's got plus sink or plus carry, and it's not like a great breaking ball, but God bless, he's tough to hit. You know,
Every time out, he's 6 innings, 6 hits, and 3 runs. Like, how's he doing it?
Again, and that adds to the difference. That adds to the difference factor. And again, I personally love anything that is different. And, you know, you talked about Tampa Bay Rays. Obviously, Tampa Bay Rays, Mikey, you know, you played with those guys, and, like, you understand how analytical they are from the front office, right? Well, you know, they're so big with, like, having different bullpen arms that do different things.
Yes.
So it's a different look at all
They
times.
literally have arm angles from both sides going all the way up. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Correct. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you're never the offense. The other team is never getting the same look twice. But again, it's all just different. And you know, we know what like the averages are from across the board on all these different metrics. So if something is going to be an outlier and something's going to be different, man, I'm freaking all in on it. I love it.
Yeah, well, I love it too. And obviously, that's the future of baseball. It's where baseball is going. I think y'all are right there at the top, and y'all understand it, and y'all are continue to evolve with the game. Obviously, I appreciate you coming on the show. I know that your time is very valuable. You're probably doing some more analytical stuff behind the scenes. Hopefully, I'm not going to ask you any baseball questions about on-the-field performance. I am not going to put you in that situation. Hopefully, nope, I'm not letting you do it. Hopefully, these analytics and stuff, they get it right. You know, a lot more strikes. I know that analytic needs to happen, but we'll go through that.
I will say this. There's no panic in the house here in the building.
I appreciate that.
There's absolutely none. I mean, if you told me before the season started that we'd be 39-12 and 17-9 in the league, I think any of us would have signed up for that. So,
Yep.
You know, we're right in the position where we want to be, and we're extremely excited to go back out here and go after it tomorrow against a really good McNeese team, and then, you know, go to Georgia and battle those guys. And you know, again, absolutely no panic in house, and we're extremely excited, and you know, we really look forward to getting better and keep working.
Love that. Jamie, I appreciate you. You're great. We'll have you back on some point in the postseason after y'all are making y'all's deep run into Omaha.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll do it from the hotel in Omaha.
I love that. Love that.
Coach, I do have one for you on the way out.
Oh, no. No,
just because you've had
brace yourself.
You've had experience with both. I've seen you in the dugout next to Jay. I'm just wondering what the difference is between how Paul handled it and the way that Jay has handled it, because it seems like y'all are in constant communication. It seems like something that he relies on quite a bit. Is your information.
Handling... What was the point? Like handling what?
Handling your analytics and the things that you bring to him. It seems like y'all are constantly talking to each other. So is it something that he relies on heavily, or is it just more of like picking each other's brain?
Yeah, it's not necessarily the like full-on analytics during a game what we're talking about. It's more of like, you know, I try to stay a couple innings ahead of like, hey, you know, we have these guys coming up. They have these guys in the bullpen. You know, this could be a potential pinch hit. This could be a potential pinch runner if we needed this. Do we need to make a defensive change? Just trying to like stay ahead and you know, give Jay those options. Not that he needs them, because he understands it too, and he's probably another inning ahead of me. But you know, it's more of that really than it is the analytic stuff, and just kind of like talking through the game, and it's awesome, man. I love being able to stand next to Coach Johnson and just listen to him talk about the game, and like, you know, he'll end up talking to himself a lot and just, you know, talking through different situations like, oh, I need a bunt here. Do I bunt here? No, I can't. I can't run here because they have this there. It's a lot of different stuff going on. And it's really cool just to hear him, just to hear. And I'm trying to be a sponge and just listen and learn as much as I possibly can because, you know, obviously he's had a ton of success and you know, he's an unbelievable head coach.
Jamie, be careful, man. You may mess around and find yourself up in the big leagues somewhere in the front office doing this analytical stuff.
No, I don't know about that. I love it here in Baton Rouge, and This is home to me, man. I absolutely love it here. I want to win a national championship before we talk about anything like that.
I want y'all to win one too, man. We love having you, bro, and I appreciate you coming on the show. We'll have you on again.
Hey, absolutely. Let's do it again sometime.
All right, appreciate it. Later.
Later.
All right.
And I had to get him off the show because he was showing too much of that whiteboard.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. Analytics are a big part, man. It's every team has it. Like, if you go look at Wake Forest, Wake Forest's team right now, they have this whole, like, pitching lab thing. That's kind of what they talked a lot about. I actually watched them play on TV on Saturday, to be honest with you. I was like, I've never seen them play. Watched them play for a few innings, and that's what they're talking about, how they're developing all these pitchers. They have a really good pitching staff. He's a huge addition, great friend of ours, huge addition to the staff. He's been there for a little while, but the way the analytics have evolved, he's a big part of that. So, continuing the baseball conversation. That interview is brought to you by our friends down at EVCO Development, civil construction company down in Lafayette, Louisiana. We appreciate all the people who have reached out to them asking for jobs. They appreciate that. We appreciate you continuing to do that. All right, let's get back to the Ask Mikey and Mitch until Cade gets in there.
I told him to he should be pulling up whenever I told him to text me because I don't get Instagram notifications. So we can go back to Ask Mikey and Mitch, and we have a couple coming up.
You want to go back
Jared, this one might be for you because I feel like you've been hinting at this a little bit.
Ooh, okay, here we go. Shoot it.
Ask him them. Do we think Blake Monday gets to start on Sunday based on the needs for strikes, or will Coleman get another extended outing?
He didn't throw this weekend, right? Or
he did. He threw one inning, threw
one
well.
Inning. Yeah, that's what I knew it was either short or not at all. I mean, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but by process of elimination, you would imagine he's on the short list at worst of getting the shot at the Sunday spot.
Or
right?
after Javen.
Or after.
One of the two. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think Javen's pitched well enough to keep that start again. But who's going to come in after him? Because if he's only going to go 4.
Yeah, and it's also, too, like, it's not even for me. It's not. I guess you can say since he actually did start Sunday, it'd be hard to say, oh, you won't start. But they're probably even more so with Blake stretched out to be able to go a little longer. And I would imagine that, let's just say maybe I don't know what Georgia looks like, but if they have way more right-handed hitters, there's a good chance he slides into that Sunday spot. And Javen is the one that's basically piggybacking him coming out of the pen.
And if the issue's the bullpen, maybe they say, okay, we want Blake to start, throw 3-4, and now we have a guy that we can rely on coming in the back. They get one way or the other, they can flip it. You know what I mean? To where they have at least the guy that can go 2 or 3.
I think it's fair to say there's been 2 definitive spots: the Friday starter and the Saturday starter at this point, right? So I do think that even though Coleman threw the amount that he threw this past weekend and he started in that situation, I don't think it's outside of thinking that Jay would sit here and say, oh, well, if Georgia has 6 or 7 right-handed bats, I'm going with a righty over the lefty.
Right.
Simply off of something like that.
Right.
I could see that being a thing. So that's possible. I think he's on the short list.
All right, another one coming up from Doug Nose. Asking him, are there major differences between how Kelly called pitches versus Wes? Kelly did more with less last season, knowing we didn't have an ace, and I would there's some wiggle room.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's many major differences with how they called pitches. Like, it's complete opposite pitching staff than it was last year. This year, their starters are pretty decent. Their bullpen has been not very good. Now they've lost some guys to injuries, but right now that's what the numbers show. Bullpen's not great. Starters are great. Last year, starters were not great. Bullpen was really good. They wore their bullpen down because that's all they had. That's all they had by the postseason, and they weren't able to finish off the season. So I don't know if it's based off of how they called pitches. I just think it's based on the rotation and how the pitching staff is structured.
Coach, I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, because it's so damn new, do we even have any clue of how pitches are called? I don't see any more shakes. We don't really know how that whole program and how that system works. I know I don't. If you guys have any in-depth analysis or I guess understanding of how the pitch count works, that's different. But I surely don't. So I really don't know if we can even question on how pitchers are called, simply because I don't know how that thing works. I don't know if there's a shake or I don't know. We really don't know where that thing's going. So
right.
And if it is just literally, hey, pitch is up there, you throw it. There's no such thing as a shake. There's no such thing as a feel. Who's calling what? Who's saying I don't know how it goes right now. And so I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know that side of it.
Right. All right, Cade is in studio. We're going to answer one more question before he gets in here. Then we're going to get him situated, and then we're going to have a conversation with him. Maybe ask some of your questions
Maybe
to
he
him.
could tell us how pitch count works.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
All right, next one up from our guy Robert Pleasall. Ask Eminem, has Hayden Travinski earned a starting role for the rest of the season?
I think he's earned time.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is they're going to continue to do what they've been doing. I mean, both.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like Milazzo's hitting over 300 too.
Your number one job as a catcher is to handle the staff.
Yep.
And that is always going to be paramount unless you somehow can sit here and show me in college ball that you're going to hit 350 and give me double-digit homers and be a real run producer. And I'm not saying that Hayden Travinski has not played stellar so far.
He's played unbelievable.
He has. That's not a doubt. But if that was what was basically thought of him at the beginning of the year, I think it would have been him as the starter, and that wouldn't have been a question. So I think right now what he's doing is he's proving himself to be able to get more bats, more innings, and more starts.
Yep.
And you just got to keep doing that.
Yep. And I think they're going to keep doing utilizing both catchers, and utilizing both their skill sets.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a 30. Actually, let's take a minute break and get Cade situated, and we're going to talk to him about everything baseball. See if we can't get a little insight on what's going on behind the scenes. Jamie just came on in and said, "No panic in house." I believe that Cade's going to have the same feelings towards that, and so we will have a conversation with him. You're watching Mik'd Up. We'll be back with you in 1 minute. I want to give a shout out to, like I said, we talk about us getting new partners, new sponsorships all the time. We have a new sponsor, and you've probably seen them on the top left corner in the little spinner logo. EFCO Solutions. Our friends on at EFCO, they're out of Lafayette. They're a civil construction company. They specialize in new multi-family construction, right? If you don't know what civil construction is, it's okay. Probably a lot of people don't understand it. They basically get the land ready to be built vertically, right? I'm giving you a little bit of a construction lesson here. I don't know much about it. I've learned it on the go, right? They specialize in site drainage, site utilities, earthworks, site cleaning, house pads, ponds, demo work, and hurricane cleanup. So they do anything that involves dirt, basically, or the earth. And a lot of that gets done it has to be done before you are building whatever development you are trying to build. So our friends at EFCO have been fans of the show. They are really, really good people. They are down there in Lafayette. If you know anybody from Lafayette, you do know me. Mitch is from New Iberia. I'll consider that Lafayette's 337 area code.
There you go.
337 area code. They are unbelievable people. They do a very, very, very good job, and they are committed to growing and being the best at what they do. So I just want to give a shout out to our friends at EFCO. I know that they listen. Appreciate you guys. We are going to be great partnerships.
Headline.
Maybe are you gonna have a Heineken Silver for the game? Maybe.
I kind of want one now.
You gonna shotgun another one?
You want another? I don't know if you should shotgun because we saw how that went last time.
I don't know. I feel like you got to redeem yourself.
You can have a drink. I don't think you should shotgun it.
The way it went,
I'll enjoy this one.
I think you should chug it, but maybe not shotgun it.
the way it went last time, it's
Yeah, I could do. I can
can't sip
do
it.
anything. I know. All right, fuck it.
All right, go ahead. Go for it. There.
Oh, that's much
There you
better.
go.
1, 2,
Open it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay.
9,
Okay. It's
10,
now it's starting to drip. Now
11,
you're struggling a little bit.
12,
It's pretty good.
13. It's not bad.
I'll give you
Not
a 13. 12 and a half seconds there. How was it? Was it good?
Delicious. You
It was
can't
very
do that
With a regular one.
with a regular one.
Right.
You can only do that with the silver.
The silver, why? Because the silver's lighter. It's got
Lighter.
95 calories. It's pretty crisp.
I
Now,
res-
that wasn't even cold. I know you don't necessarily need a cold beer. That was room temp.
That's
But
the
I respect how
fraternity days
quickly
in me.
you turned around and gave me a full sentence. That was quick.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that.
No
Officer,
doubt.
I'm fine.
You've been
Walk the
around
straight
before.
line, kid.
Yeah.
You've been around before, but
It's just breakfast.
It's a very good beer. It's
It
a
is.
very light beer. It's something that you could
Easy to drink.
Easy to drink.
Easy to pour.
Yeah. But it's something that I think it should be in the rotation at tailgates, especially with LSU baseball coming up. We'll get into some of the LSU baseball conversation.
3, 2, 1.
Dozy Place is located on 3723 Government Street. Everybody knows about their Wall of Famous steaks and their hot tamales, which you may not know is that they're open for lunch every day from 11 to 2. Great people, great environment. Their lunch menu is fire. What's the best thing on the menu?
If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try the burger. Unbelievable. Best burger in town.
Best burger in town. If you're looking for lunch, 11 to 2 at Doe's Eat Place. Again, they're located on 3723 Government Street. Give them a shot. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We are now joined with the man, the myth, the legend, the man who moved his his wedding back.
Literally.
Because he was going to hit double-digit homers before the year started. If I told you before the year started, it's Cade Beloso. I don't want to live it. If I told you before the year started, Cade, that you're going to have potentially hit double, you're at 9 right now, right?
9, yeah.
You're probably going to hit double digits for the year. You're going to have you're going to be a huge role. Would you say, yeah, that's what I signed up for, or whatever happens? Like, obviously you want to play,
Right.
but, a lot of guys come in. He didn't know what the role was going to be. He kind of came back here based off of, I'm an older guy. I'm trusting that the situation is going to work itself out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a little bit of like everything you just said. Yeah. I was just, happy to be healthy enough to play baseball again. And then having some success this year has been awesome. And then on top of that, just, being on such a good team, in such a good lineup, just to, hit behind Tommy and Dylan is something I'm going to tell my family one day. Hit behind those guys. I mean, they're going to be in the big leagues for 15 years. So, I mean, it's awesome. But yeah, just having so much fun this year, with everything.
Talk to me about this weekend. Obviously, everybody around Baton Rouge and LSU fans around the country are panicking because that's what fans do, right? And it's okay. That's why they're fans, right? Yeah. They're high, low. Like, that's just the way it works. Obviously, the last 2 weekends haven't gone the way that y'all wanted them to go. Auburn's playing good baseball. They're now 14 and 13 in conference.
Right.
They are probably going to be in the postseason now. They've kind of earned their way there. Mississippi State, I think, is the one everyone was very concerned about because they weren't playing good baseball. Run ruled them on Friday. Whatever game on Saturday, and then on Sunday, y'all are about to 10-run rule them again. And then baseball happens, and y'all end up losing the game. What is the psyche of the team? What is the mentality of the team? And what's the message that Jay gave to y'all after the game?
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. Everybody's gonna hit the panic button around you. Fans, that's what they.
We haven't hit it. We just took it out of the. We just took it out of the case. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the psyche of the team's fine though. I mean, do we want to win against Auburn? Yes. Do we want to win against Mississippi State? Absolutely. It didn't go that way, so I mean, we're not going to sit here and mope about it. It's a tough league. Every team is good in this league, whether or not their record shows. Like Mississippi State, I mean, they had great arms. It's just I was talking to some of their players too. It's just like a matter of whether or not they throw strikes. Their lineup. Most of their guys are hitting over 300 with 10 pumps each. That doesn't happen by accident. Same thing with Auburn. So I mean, we didn't play well enough to win on either one of those days or against Auburn either one of those days too. So I mean, I think the psyche of the team's fine though. No one's hitting the panic button. We all trust each other. We all trust each other that we're gonna get the job done. Tomorrow and moving forward.
I mean, so you basically said it. You mentioned it. Didn't play well enough to win the series last weekend. Didn't play well enough to win the series the weekend before. Happens. It's baseball.
Yeah.
It is what it is, especially in this league.
Right.
But how do you move forward? What action do you take? What things do you do individually, as a team, to make sure you're putting yourself in the best position when you go back out there this midweek, when you go back out there and you get to Georgia, to actually move forward and put your best foot forward?
Yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about baseball. I mean, y'all two obviously understand it. You get to play a game less than 48 hours away. You get to get a chance to correct your mistakes, or keep building on success that you already had. Stuff like that. I think that's how you move forward. Just keep reiterating the guys that, we're such a good baseball team. Everybody knows it. We know it. It's just a matter of, it's going to come down to if we do it or not. I think we're going to do it, no doubt. That's just the confidence I have.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's just the confidence I have, in the squad, and then all the boys, are feeling it, and, we're going to feed off of each other moving forward.
It's very easy to look at stuff with the glass half empty, if you will, after the last 2 weeks, right? But Jamie touched on it when we had him on a couple minutes ago.
He's the man.
He's the best.
God,
he's the best.
I'll just say he's the best in the business.
He's the best.
LSU is so lucky to have Jamie Tutko. I mean, just the impact he's had on people.
Yeah.
And I mean, he could be in the
He's
big.
not on video. You don't have to suck up to him.
No. I mean, he's one of my favorite people.
Nice to listen.
He's one of my favorite people I've ever met. And that guy can be in the big leagues right now if he wanted to. But he chooses to be with us at LSU. So I mean, we're lucky to have that guy.
Yeah, 100%. So he touched on it earlier, but has that message been delivered? Because I think we all say like, yeah, would you love to control your destiny in every single second of the season? Yes. Is that really that realistic? No, right? But you're going into the last weekend of the regular season with the opportunity and the chance still to win the league.
Right.
How is that? How do you guys look at it from that side? And is that something that's been talked about already?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the whole glass half full mentality. Like, I mean, yeah, the last 2 weekends haven't gone the way we wanted them to, but if you look at it from you step back, we're 17-9 in the league. We're 30-something and whatever overall. Like, I mean, if you would have told fans that at the beginning of the year, like, hey, do y'all want this? Every single one would say yes. Not that it necessarily matters what they want, but yeah, everyone's going to say yes.
Here's
no
an
doubt.
example. We talk about this all the time, right? And I don't like to compare teams, but I do it because it's easy. It's easy conversation pieces, and we won those last national championship here, right? In 2009, last national championship team. What do you think our final record was?
2008 was when y'all had that crazy.
They were 20. I wasn't there, but they were 23 straight.
30. I'm gonna say 42 and.
We won the whole thing, right?
Yeah. That's what I was taking.
56 and 17. We had 17
that was
losses.
so far off.
56 and 17, right?
Damn it.
So you played 56 regular season games and all the postseason.
Flip that. I'm bad at math. Leave me alone.
But my point is, y'all are 17-9.
Right.
Y'all aren't gonna have 30. Y'all usually play 30 conference games. Y'all aren't gonna have 30 because y'all lost one at South Carolina. Our record in the SEC that year was 20-10.
Yep.
20-10. We were co-SEC champs with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Right. We won the SEC championship. We don't tournament. All that stuff. Right. Y'all are 17-9. Y'all go out and sweep this weekend. Y'all are 20-9. Y'all go out and win the series. Y'all are 19-10. Y'all are basically the same record that we were in 2009 to win the whole thing. Right. So my whole point in saying that is, y'all wanted to win every series.
Yeah.
Should y'all have won these last two? Yeah, no problem. Probably, right? Like y'all are better the teams, no doubt. But as baseball,
it happens. Should we have beat Illinois?
Yeah, I mean,
no doubt.
Yeah.
But
go back and look the last couple of years. Like, who won the SEC last year? Not Ole Miss.
They were
the last team in the tournament.
Right.
Who won the SEC the year before?
Not Mississippi State.
Not Mississippi State. Arkansas won it. They were 2-Q, and that they lost it. Was it NC State at home?
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't win the national championship. I'm just saying all things because it matters. Like we want to.
That's your knowledge.
Like we want to win the SEC championship. That's one of our goals we set out this year. And we're going to do everything in our power to achieve that. But if it doesn't happen, it's not something we're going to sit and mope about. Like the postseason is a different animal, and it's a new season. Like you don't start the postseason with a record of 40 and whatever we're going to finish at. You start at 0-0.
And I'm glad you said that, right? Because we talk about this all the time. You have basically 3 seasons in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You have non-conference, you have SEC, and you have postseason.
Yeah.
Right? And every time you start one of those next chapters of the year, it feels like it's kind of like a exhale, breath of fresh air, reset.
Yeah.
Conference starts. Look, the season's long. You get to this point in the season, school's out. You feel
which
that
is
you know,
great.
which is awesome. Which is great. I'm sure. I mean, we used to do the little pool parties on Mondays, and I'm sure the boys have. You don't have to disclose your information. You have more options than we had. By the way, y'all have way cooler things than we did by the time. But now y'all start. It's getting closer to postseason, so you're looking towards that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get towards the end of the year, it gets very tiring. You know that you're probably going to be an national seed, and you don't want to slip up, right? But then you get to that next spot, and you get to the SC tournament, and now it's like, okay, everybody can exhale. Everything that you did in the regular season doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. You kind of restart. Do y'all kind of have that feeling like, hey, let's keep doing what we need to do, finish the regular season out strong, and then once you get to the postseason, it's a whole new ball game?
I mean, yeah, a little bit of both. Like we do realize that we can't, we're not gonna win like this moving forward. But like at the same time, we're not gonna think about what's ahead of us. Like we do have to focus on starting with Mc'd tomorrow. That's just the way baseball works. Y'all get it. Like y'all understand that. And Coach Jay's so big on that. Is just worried about what's in front of you today. Like just be locked into that moment. So like tomorrow, at 6:30, we're gonna be locked in on Mc'd, and then Thursday at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. here, or 6, whatever the time changes, we're going to be locked.
Athens is great, by the way. Have you been to Athens?
Yeah, we went freshman year. It's great.
Great
Great spot, yeah.
Just don't do what we did. So in 2011,
I've never heard this.
We go to Athens. And 2011 was the last year LSU did not make the postseason, right? We were 36-20. We had a 22 RPI. We were a 9th team in the SEC. We were young. We had all freshman rotation, whatever. We go to Georgia, and Georgia's not – they're okay, but they're not great. And we go and we win Friday. We have to win the series. We win Friday. One of the games gets rained – the game gets rained out on Sunday, so we play a double header. Game gets rained out on Saturday. We play a double header on Sunday. So some of the guys decided to go out, like to have dinner. Yeah. The dinner turned into a few drinks, and drinks turned into going out, which is okay. But we had a doubleheader, right? Yeah. We go and play a doubleheader, and we lose both games. And one of the guys, who's one of my best friends, ended up had to pinch run after not playing for the whole game. And an 18 hopper to the middle of the infield gets thrown out by 6 feet at home plate. It was tough. So don't do that. But Athens is great. Yeah. Athens is great. I'm looking forward. I'm happy for y'all. Yeah, it's a great place to hit. Great,
yeah, it is. Really is. I mean, the field. Even though the ball flies there, you know, it's 350 to the left, but it doesn't play like that. And then right field's 312.
Yeah, that's where all the frat houses are, right?
Yeah. You can hear the frat bros chirping you. It's funny.
What does Georgia? I mean, obviously, I know you have McNeese. McNeese is a good team, and you don't have to worry about McNeese tomorrow. And I'm not overlooking them. I don't know much about them. So I'm just going to skip to Georgia. If that's okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
What does Georgia? Georgia's got a freshman, I think, on their team that's pretty good, right? He had like 20-something homers.
Yeah.
Is he a freshman?
Yeah. I think he's a freshman, or he's like a redshirt freshman. So he was out last year, but this is his first year playing.
Yeah. So like, what do they do? Like, what's their like? What do they do well? If y'all have talked about them already?
We haven't even talked about them, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know like some teams on the league just because either like. They have got a lot of guys returning, or players on the I really don't know anything about Georgia.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. That's good. I do know they have that kid that.
That's a good way. That's a good way not to talk about him.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I don't know. I mean, I do know they're going to want to beat us.
No doubt. Well, they're playing for their postseason lives.
Yeah.
Right. Like right now they're probably not on the bubble anymore. They're probably out of the postseason. So y'all have played last 3 weekends. Y'all have played 3 desperate teams.
Yep.
Right. Yep. And desperation is. Desperate teams are very dangerous teams to play. Like Auburn, obviously, did what they did. Now they won again last weekend, so now they're putting themselves in a position. Mississippi State's trying to make it into the postseason, right? Into the SEC tournament to where they can maybe get a lucky, win it, and go to the postseason. Georgia trying to do the same thing after they just got swept by Missouri. So they're gonna go in there and they're gonna try to beat y'all. Y'all the number one.
No doubt.
Y'all were the number one team. Y'all had the target on your back. No, it's good though. This is good. That's good. Adverse. We weren't. I mean, same thing.
I didn't take it as a dig.
Y'all are 5. Y'all are number 5 in the country. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Rankings don't matter.
We're number 5? Is that what it is?
That's what it came out to.
I haven't been on social media.
I love that. It doesn't matter. All that matters is going out and winning, right? And so, I guess moving forward, right, going into y'all are smart. Y'all understand. Y'all see what's going on, right? Pitching, the bullpen was struggled this weekend. They've struggled the last couple weekends, right? Paul Skenes has been Paul Skenes. Ty Floyd has been really good the last, game and a half, I guess. What is there do y'all as players how do you rally around your boys in the bullpen and try to say, hey, listen, I know y'all are going through it right now. We got you. We got to figure this thing out though.
Yeah. I mean, we have player meetings every week. I mean, obviously
players only.
Yeah. We've been doing that since the beginning of the year. And I mean that topic gets brought up sometimes, and it's just a reiteration of just know how good you are. We have so many talented arms in that bullpen. Just understanding that and just reiterating to the guys how much we believe in them and how much we love them, and all those guys work so hard. And they're gonna get the job done. There's no doubt in my mind with every single guy in that pen and each starter that takes them out.
Can you cook like your dad?
I can cook pretty good.
Your dad's a G.
By the way, give you a short story. Your dad gave me a little short on you and your life that I didn't know, but we happened to be standing on the concourse next to him when you were at bat Friday night when the bases were loaded. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me, Anthony, and a couple of my buddies that were in town, and he goes, hey, I'm just letting y'all know, Cade has never hit a grand slam anywhere in his life right now. And so we're standing up there next to him. The ball goes up to right field, and we kind of didn't see it go over it. We all went nuts.
Oh, yeah. It was that slider.
Wind's howling in from right field across, so it pretty much got knocked down. But off the bat, it was very electric. I'm just going to let you know.
I've never hit one before.
But he was happy about it because he was like, look, man, I'm just, We're here to have a good time with this thing.
Yeah, I mean, when you're up there with the bases loaded and no outs, your one job is to get that guy in from third.
Yeah,
You can't get selfish.
And you already know the spirit that your dad said it in anyway, so it was great. It was cool.
Yeah, that's true. I've never done it. I've never hit a grand slam.
Well, and speaking of, obviously you get sidelined last year, but Jay had come on the show before and was like saying how much progress that he had made. What was the transition between the head coach and how much did he help you kind of like? He said he changed your swing a lot, and he's like, I can't wait for Cade Beloso to get back out there. I'll unfortunately get hurt, but I think you can't even tell that you missed a year. Like, what was the transition from Jay and how he made you? Like, what did y'all work on essentially?
I mean, I had a massive leg kick, like y'all used to see. Like, it was just sometimes it would work, sometimes it wasn't. So we were gonna go for more of like a consistent approach. And he showed me one of the players from Arizona who was their first baseman, and he ranked and he got drafted, and he was like, hey, you could be this guy right here. So start learning how to use your body properly and see the ball, because that's my best tool as a hitter is my eyes and separating balls and strikes quickly. That's what I do. So just he was like, we're going to use your best tool and we're going to train it every day and train your swing properly. So I mean, he changed my career for sure.
Going through your struggles with the injuries and everything, what did you learn about yourself, man? Like that's a long period. You went through some tough times and trying to get back, and then injuries. And how did you better yourself as a person, and like where have you gone from then to where you are now?
I mean, I think that thing the injury helped me out for the best, even in just like life, would just like change my perspective on everything. Just we often take for granted like the littlest things. I think in life and in baseball, and like I mean when I had surgery I had a cast all the way down or like a brace or whatever you call it, but like I couldn't like shower by myself, or I couldn't like literally walk around. No, not like like I had to like get help to get into the shower. Like I couldn't walk. Like it's just like you take for granted waking up and walking.
That atrophy's fun, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but like it's just this year I think I haven't taken for granted one thing. I just am so happy I am able to just play baseball every day. And that's one thing that's helped me out. But yeah, I learned that I'm a super strong person, mentally. Just to go through that, and I learned I love LSU, to a new level that I didn't like know before. Like I loved it, but you don't realize how much you love something until it's taken away from you. Love the people in the organization. Everybody.
Milazzo came on last week.
The man.
The best.
He's the man, bro.
Just like his personality and the way he talks the game, understands the game. Is he like the personality of the team? Like is he the guy like? I don't know if you'll have mic guys on the bus, like if you'll have like a team bus or whatever, and they have like the mic in the front of like the
we don't have a mic, but no,
like he would be the mic guy. I would imagine he would take
absolutely.
it and like he would keep everybody loose. Like Buzzy was the guy for us. Yeah. You know what I mean? In Pro Bowl, you always have somebody.
Dude, we have some great locker room guys. Like,
who else?
It's just fantastic.
Who else?
I mean, I'm going to include myself.
You are. I know you are.
There you go.
I'm going to include Josh Pearson.
Really?
Absolutely. Hayden Travinsky.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, Skenes is the locker room. He's a dude in the locker room. Obviously, he's a phenom on the mound. He's a big leaguer. Like he's pretty good on the mound.
He'll be in the big leagues in September.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be pitching in the World Series for whoever.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the list goes on. I'm trying to think. Thatcher Hurd is a locker room dude.
Really?
Yeah.
He seems very quiet.
No.
He
really does seem quiet. That's a surprise there.
No, well, actually, funny you said that because I sat with his parents at the first pitch banquet. So I was at their table, and we had him on when he announced he was committing to LSU, and he was very mellow and low-key and quiet. Well, his mom was like, hey, I just want to apologize for Thatcher. I was like, why? He was great. She's like, oh, no. That was not Thatcher. He was sick. He was not feeling himself, and so he was like on medicine. He's usually a lot funnier and
so
more energetic. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you have him on again.
He's hilarious. And then two other guys that come to mind are, I say Travinsky already.
Yeah.
I said Jordan Thompson, obviously.
Oh, he's
great locker room guy.
Yeah.
Dylan's presence is great as well. I'm trying to think who else.
Has y'all loosened him up a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, he talks. I feel like a lot of people. That's like you're not the first person that said that.
No, I mean, I know his personality, but some guys just but it takes him a little while to
Yeah, I mean, I think he is that way. He comes across as shy, but once he he knows you and he gets a feel for you, he opens up and he's talking, cracking jokes, stuff like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Obviously, y'all have had all these expectations going into the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like y'all were the number one team in the country. Y'all are supposed to be the greatest team. Y'all have had some injuries, right? no excuses. Like, I'm sure that's been the message. Like, it doesn't matter who's hurt, who's not hurt. Next guy up. We have to, rally around each other moving forward, right? How have y'all handled all of that adversity? To me, I think this last 2 weeks, I think this is probably the best 2 weeks for y'all moving forward based off of, hey, now it's either put up or shut up as far as what we've preached all year, right? Like, we've actually had some real adversity. We've had some real doubts about if we're going to be good enough, if we're actually an Omaha team. And now we have to, even more than ever, rally around. Is that the mentality? Is that the message that y'all are kind of taking from each other? Or is it, how are y'all handling that?
I mean, I think just the message is, our guys are our guys. Whoever is healthy, whoever is not healthy, like that's the team we have. And, that's the team that we're going to win a national championship with, regardless who's on the field. And Gavin said something, I believe it was in a team prayer right after a team prayer before a game. This is right when Garrett got hurt. And he was just like, play for that dude. And that's the kind of the message that I've always thought of, like when guys go down with injuries like that, you're playing for those guys, like because they don't get the chance to play. Like guys who have like injuries and like long-term injuries, stuff like that, like play for those guys because that just got ripped away from them. Just so like that's kind of the whole message is like, if they're going to be rooting you on, they're going to have your support. So go do it for them as you should be doing already. Playing for every single guy in that locker room.
So when we made our run, like you're going to have guys that pitch in the postseason or do something in the postseason that
play minor roles.
Didn't do anything really all year. Like not because they weren't good enough, just they weren't asked to do it.
Right.
We won the SEC tournament in 2009. We lost that first game to Vanderbilt, and we had to go in. The guy throwing in the championship game of the SEC tournament had like 10 innings all year. Started through 7 one-run innings. Chad Jones had not pitched all year. He threw 7 or 8 innings all year, and he was our lefty guy out the bullpen.
Yep.
Right?
Dude, that video of him coming off the field like in full on sprinting and chest bumping somebody. I don't know who he chest bumped. Was that Buzzy?
Yeah.
I know his chest is still hurting to this day.
He had his hats off, and now when he came out, he had he was a hitter, obviously, and his walkout song was "Money on My Mind."
Respect.
But you only played 30 seconds of it when you hit. When he came off the mound, Money on My Mind was playing. The other 2.5 minutes were not edited.
It wasn't as easy to find edited versions of songs back then. So,
but it was awesome. It was great, right? So my point is saying is like you're gonna have guys that are gonna step up or they're gonna do something that maybe you weren't expecting them to do.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we've seen a lot of these guys play that probably. Is there somebody in mind you're like, hey, this guy, like I've seen it kind of brewing. Like this guy has a shot to like surprise some people in the postseason that hadn't really like had a lot of action. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, another example. Yeah. Our third baseman in Omaha was Derek Helenique.
Yeah.
He's a historian.
Yeah. I've been an LSU fan my life.
He played the year before he played all year, then started the year, then Tyler Hanover took his position, but he came in. He was a huge reason why we won those games because of his defense at third. He made some really big plays, right? Like, something like that. I mean, and it's hard to predict that.
Yeah.
Right? That's not something that's easy to predict. It's just...
It's super hard to predict.
Feels like Travinsky.
I mean,
every time you call up Parkman, he just goes yard.
Let's go. He's the man.
Yeah,
he's the man. He's such a good player.
And we think it could possibly fall to Blake Money a little bit, right?
Yeah,
because
Blake's a good pitcher. No
coming in, just giving an extra arm out of the pen, having a guy say, you know what, I'm going to be the guy to kind of stabilize it, throw strikes. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it's all hands on deck kind of at this point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a great pitcher, and he works super hard, one of the hardest workers in the building. And, every time he's out there, he competes. I can see him being one of those guys, for us. And whether it's a big moment like that or, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope for y'all.
I'm trying to – that's one of those things that's hard to predict. Yeah.
You touched on it earlier, kind of not taking for granted what this last year has been able to mean to you and stuff like that. You just had senior weekend in Alex Box. Obviously – there's a very strong chance you guys will be back here in the postseason. This will be your last real road SEC series. Has that kind of hit you at all in the thought of it? Because it's a different feeling going into basically a hostile environment as a band of brothers, and you're literally 35 against the city.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was thinking that in my head. It's like it's you versus that whole city.
Yeah,
and I mean, playing at home is fantastic, and as you all know, the fans are great. Place gets booming. We got students getting kicked out of the student section that are just rowdy. I love it. Shout out to them.
Yep. Shout out. No doubt. We've been preaching that all year.
Place is going nuts. But, I mean, it's going on the road and winning a series, it's a different, special type of feeling.
Yeah.
Like, call yourself like a road dog, and you go and just – yeah.
There's nothing like
There's
that.
nothing like it. I mean, when you're leaving the stadium, after a win, that whole stadium is just completely silent. Like, and you're just like,
Yep. That's the best. There's nothing like going to somebody else's stadium and winning.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Have y'all felt that a little bit where you started, obviously last year, it didn't feel like you have the same pressure as you do this year when you're going into opposing stadiums where it feels like what Jay's done through the portal, adding Skenes, adding Tommy Tanks. It feels like LSU was kind of like the talk of the offseason. You come in number one.
Oh, you definitely hear it.
Yeah, do you feel like every time you come out, it's like, we know we're taking everybody's best punch.
Yeah, I mean, opposing fans are educated, whether that be on baseball or, on your life.
On your life.
I mean,
probably more educated.
Probably more in your life, yeah.
Definitely more.
A lot of them really don't know what they're talking about, opposing fans. But, I mean, dude, they know everything about you, and they just grill you.
Yep.
But it's funny.
It's great.
You got to learn how to deal with it.
It's great.
Yeah, and I mean, I literally sit in the on-deck circle and, I'll just laugh at people.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that was a good one, actually. You got me.
It's the ones that are, annoying.
Acknowledge the good ones.
Yeah, you just look back and you're like,
But the ones that make you laugh are like, that was
all right. No, I'll look at you
the ones
now.
that are the worst are it's like these old guys that just sit above the dugout and they're like, sit down.
Yeah.
After you get out, I'm like,
Right.
Be original.
Yeah.
Be original. But if you're
guys who just yell the same thing over and over, look, if you're gonna heckle me, at least make it funny. The people around you are getting aggravated at you. It's not even funny for them.
Yeah, you're not making anything enjoyable for anybody.
Yeah.
My all-time least favorite of them is the ones that when you actually acknowledge them and look at them, they're turn around.
Just like I was giving you props, man.
Pay attention to the game. There's absolutely nothing going on in the game.
There was
right
a
now.
funny one at A&M, and I mean, I've been locked in on the road lately, but at A&M I wasn't playing, so I was kind of just taking in the environment and stuff like that. And Paxton Kling was leading off the game, and there's this old guy that stepped up. He had a big old gray beard and glasses, and he just holds this pair of clippers, and he's just dangling them. He's like, "Get a haircut!" And everybody turns around.
They let him in a stadium with that?
Really patted him down. Huh? Really patted him down. Keeping everybody safe out here.
And everybody just looked back and started laughing. Like, bro, that's pretty funny.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I think that's huge, right? Moving forward, that's what you look forward to. If you look forward to the road atmospheres like that, moving forward into the postseason, that's a huge thing. But then, it's important, I feel like, to be able to have those regionals and super regionals here at Alex because there's nothing like that.
But it says something special about a team. Everyone loves to play at home.
Right.
But it does say something special about a team that legit loves going on the road and playing in front of people.
I mean, it's different when you go on the road. It speaks volumes to the team. And I think we have a good road record this year.
Yeah, really good.
I'm trying to think all the series. It was Ole Miss, A&M.
I want to say I've only lost 4 games on the road this year.
Yeah, I mean
I think you are 9-2 going to Auburn, which is great.
That's pretty.
One of the best SEC road record in the conference.
I mean, if you look around the conference, not a lot of teams can say that they play good on the road. Just looking at stuff like that.
You mentioned Skenes a little bit. You were the first one on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Was that obviously pretty much a surprise? But whenever he started, is that something that you didn't expect from him? Because obviously coming from Air Force, did you know him like that yet? And you're like, oh, this guy actually has a little bit of a sense of humor.
So obviously you're super thrilled to get a caliber guy like Paul Skenes, just a pitcher like that, and But I didn't know anything. I didn't know his personality or anything like that. How he was going to be.
You just read about him, Air Force guy. You think crew cut, and you're like, oh God, I don't know.
So I had previous experiences.
Bud's awesome.
Yeah,
that's sick.
I had previous experience with a couple Air Force guys just because playing them, and we used to do the whole cross national anthem things with Coach Maneri. It was cool to interact with those guys, but. He has one of the best personalities I've ever been around, and he just loves laughing. He loves cracking jokes in the locker room. And granted, when there's the time to get serious, you won't meet anyone more focused than Skenes on a Friday around 5:00.
Yeah,
he's pretty dialed in.
Is he a don't talk to me before the game guy, or is it hey right before the game don't talk to me there's Justin Verlander? I couldn't look at Justin Verlander in the eyeballs on his start day. He showed up at 2 o'clock whenever you get to the field and nobody wanted to talk to him unless he came talk to you.
It's not an all day thing. I mean, you can talk to him and he'll laugh and stuff like that. He has a good personality before, but it's as soon as he starts putting his clothes on to go warm up and work out, do his. I don't know what his routine is, but go do his deal as everybody says about him.
Can you give the story of the T-shirt?
Dude, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I mean, it started. He just found like this random T-shirt where they had like 1 million pictures of me on it. It looked like it was almost like a picture, like a shirt when like someone dies. You just put like a bunch of pictures like on a T-shirt, like R.I.P. I was like, dude, where'd you find it?
Did he make it or he found it?
He said he found it on the internet.
Wow.
Yeah. But bro, so we all. I mean, obviously we have team group messages and we send hilarious photos in there, and it's just he goes through and finds a photo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, bro, it's literally one of the best traditions.
And he does it every start.
Every start.
Different player every start.
Every start. I hope all of our pitchers do that from like here on out.
That's awesome.
Program, like it's a new thing. It's hilarious. Like some of the funniest photos I've ever seen. He's like walking around. He's this big 6'8" dude with a cutoff shirt. It's fantastic.
I love that. That's great. That's great for the team.
And then he gets everybody to sign it after. Like he's gonna keep those shirts. It's not like he's just throwing those shirts.
Cool.
Yeah, like that just shows the type of teammate he is.
Yeah,
love it.
No doubt. That's awesome.
It's so funny, bro.
I gotta go look at all. I haven't seen them all. Do they show them all? Like all the T-shirts? Like on.
Yeah, they're like he was the first one, I believe.
Right.
I think he did it for him first.
They don't show them all.
No, it's just like a matter if you catch him with it or not. He's like not like doing it for social media.
Right, of course not.
Boys.
He's doing it just for the locker. It's just for the
Which
boys.
I respect.
Yeah.
I respect that even more.
It's not. Yeah, it's not for social media. Like he's not that type of person.
Yeah. No,
Just
I can tell that. Yeah. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you guys.
Anytime you want to come on, I'd love to have you on when y'all are making y'all's run in Omaha.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna try to go to Hoover, so we'll be there.
Dude, that tournament's so fun.
It's the best.
Like, it's the best.
To me, I mean, look, Omaha's awesome. I love Omaha. Like that's the World
I got a
Series.
Chad Jones story about Hoover after this.
But like going to Hoover is like, I mean, that's the best tournament you're gonna play in. It's the best competition you're gonna play in. Let me hear the Chad story.
Dude, so I mean, obviously I wouldn't have remember this, but I was on the field in one of y'all's practices, and I remember Maddie like got me on the field because I was close with him. Like, he was one of my brother's best friends, and I remember just watching y'all take batting practice, and y'all are just ball after ball in the trees, over, in the parking lot and left. And, Maddie kind of looked at me. He was like, watch this guy. Chad's just like hitting balls like over the trees. I'm just like, bro, what?
Hey.
Maddie was like, he's not even really like a full-time hitter.
He does it.
Yeah, he's one of our pitchers.
Hey, when we're in Omaha, so when you go to Omaha, you have your first practice day is like open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody can go out there and it's full. Like there's probably 15, 20,000 people in the stands watching batting practice for all the teams. Well, we had our day, and like I was a freshman, I was kind of nervous a little bit. Like
you feel it.
Chad got a standing ovation from the crowd. That's how impressive his batting practice was. Like he was hitting balls like way back, and people like literally, when he was done, got up and gave him a standing ovation.
And now, mind you, this was after him and Leon were pretty much almost in a fight about whose dad could beat whose dad up.
Yeah.
Like literally, that happened when we got there. Somehow that
they're fighting over their dads. You're like, what are we doing?
And Chad's hitting 4 feet for homers in batting practice.
That's the kind of dynamic that was there at that point.
Sean's just looking at both of them like, dude, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
I talked to him today. It was so funny.
So Sean?
Yeah.
He's at the beach. He's having a good time right now.
Yeah.
He's not working. He's at the beach.
Nah.
What time did he call you?
He texted me like it was like 4 something.
Oh yeah, it's a couple deep.
He's good. He's probably just getting off the beach.
He has like a signature line. He hits me up. He's like, "What's up, coach?"
Yeah, that's his move. That's his move. That's what he likes to say, coach.
Like, what's up with you? He's like, "Dude, beach, man.
Yeah.
Just big chilling."
Oh man. Well, dude, good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate
Obviously, we're gonna be watching. We're gonna be in Hoover probably, and hopefully we can see you out there. I mean, I'll definitely see you out there, but hopefully you can maybe hop on the show or do whatever you want.
Let's do it.
Again,
love y'all show.
it.
Y'all are the best.
Appreciate it. We
Y'all
try to
offer great insight.
Yeah, we try to have a good time doing it. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Hey, y'all two have done it.
Well, you're just the man.
You have good insight too, though. You get it.
I got good seats.
I do laugh every time you're sitting next to Coach Jay's wife. And
Oh,
I just look over.
Wait, so y'all noticed this thing then? That's so great.
Dude,
Do y'all talk about that shit?
I'm just like, Lloyd's in there.
Doug Thompson fucking roasted me. He's like, look at you, you're up in the suites now, you're sitting next to the coach's wife. And I was like, I don't know how this happened.
Dude, I don't know what game it was, but I looked over at you and you look at me and you kind of just do this. You start playing with your mustache.
So it's been a running joke between me and Mike, and we're like, dude, how many people in the stands are like,
Who in the hell is that sitting next to Coach's wife right there?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they probably think I'm like a relative or like a son. Like, how did he get down there? And they're like, I don't know. Doug was like, you need to milk that for all it's worth.
It's so funny, bro.
Oh, man. That's funny stuff.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm glad everybody noticed.
Yeah, I noticed.
You're very recognizable.
I'm very low key down.
And you're very recognizable.
You are recognizable.
Yeah, the mullet's real low key.
The
No
mustache,
one notices
That
it.
mullet mustache combo.
Yeah.
Really fitting in.
Good luck the rest of the way,
Yep,
dude.
appreciate y'all.
We're gonna keep watching. We're a huge fan of y'all's, yours in particular, and your dad's a G. Can't wait to eat some food with him in the Hoover.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, anytime you want to come on, you're welcome
Absolutely.
on. So
Appreciate
it. Thanks for coming on. We're gonna take a 30-second break, get Cade out of here, and we'll be back to end the show. You're watching Mik'd Up.
Oh, that was awesome. Thanks,
Appreciate you. Dozy Place is located on 3723 Government Street. Everybody knows about their world famous steaks and their hot tamales, but what you may not know is that they're open for lunch every day from 11 to 2. Great people, great environment. Their lunch menu is fire. What's the best thing on the menu?
If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try the burger. Unbelievable, best burger in town.
Best burger in town. If you're looking for lunch, 11 to 2 at Dozy Place. Again, they're located on 3723 Government Street. Give them a shot. But before we go into our break, I want to give a shout out to, like I said, we talk about us getting new partners, new sponsorships all the time. We have a new sponsor, and you've probably seen them on the top left corner in the little spinner logo. FCO Solutions. Our friends on at FCO, they're out of Lafayette. They're a civil construction company. They specialize in new multi-family construction, right? If you don't know what civil construction is, that's okay. Probably a lot of people don't understand it. They basically get the land ready to be built vertically, right? I'm giving you a little bit of a construction lesson here. I don't know much about it. I've learned it on the go, right? They specialize in site drainage, site utilities, earthworks, site cleaning, house pads, ponds, demo work, and hurricane cleanup. So they do anything that involves dirt, basically, or the earth. And a lot of that gets done before, it has to be done before you are building whatever development you are trying to build. So our friends at FCO have been fans of the show. They are really, really good people. They're down there in Lafayette. If you know anybody from Lafayette, you do know me. Mitch is from New Iberia. I'll consider that Lafayette's 337 area code.
There you go.
337 area code. They are unbelievable people. They do a very, very, very good job, and they are committed to growing and being the best at what they do. So I just want to give a shout out to our friends at FCO. I know that they listen. Appreciate you guys. We are going to be great partnerships. Maybe you can have. Are you gonna have a Heineken Silver for the game? Maybe.
I kind of want one now.
You gonna shotgun another one?
You want another? I don't know if you should shotgun because we saw how that went last time. You won.
I don't know. I feel like you got to redeem yourself.
If you can have a drink, I don't think you should shotgun it.
The way it went,
I'll enjoy this one.
I think you should chug it, but maybe not shotgun it.
the way it went last time, it's
Yeah, I could do. I mean, I
can't
can
sip
do
it.
anything. I know. All right, fuck it.
All right, go ahead. Go for it. There.
That was much
There you
better.
go.
1, 2,
Open it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay.
9,
Okay. It's
10,
now it's starting to drip. Now
11,
you're struggling a little bit.
12,
It's pretty good.
13.
13
It's not bad.
I'll give you
Not
a 12 and a half seconds there. How was it? Was it good?
Delicious. You
It was
can't
very
do that
With a regular one.
with a regular one.
Right.
You can only do that with the silver.
The silver, why? Because the silver's lighter. It's got
Lighter.
95 calories. It's pretty crisp.
I res-
That wasn't even cold. I know you don't necessarily need a cold beer. That was room temp.
That's
But
the
I respect
fraternity
how
days
quickly
to
you
me.
turned around and gave me a full sentence. That was quick.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that.
No
Officer,
doubt.
I'm fine.
You've been
Walk the
around
straight
before.
line, kid.
Yeah.
You've been around before, but
It's just breakfast.
It's a very good beer. It's a
is.
very light beer. It's something that you could
Easy to drink.
Easy to drink.
Easy to pour.
Yeah. But it's something that I think it should be in the rotation at tailgates, especially with LSU baseball coming up. We'll get into some of the LSU baseball conversation. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. If you're just joining us, you're a little late.
Sorry for the extended break. Having a little conversation with the fellas.
Yeah, a little off-air convo. Cade Beloso, great as we expected him to be. He's been on the show before. He's been great. Appreciate him coming in. Obviously, Jamie Tutko, the analytics.
Two different sides of the coin.
Yeah, two completely different sides. But Jamie's great. Obviously, Cade's saying his praise when he first got in here. It's also Monday, which means it's Ask Mikey and Mitch. Ton of questions. We got to some of them before the show. We got to some of them right before Cade got on here. We're gonna end the show with more questions. So since we're running out of time, we're gonna run right into this thing. What's the next question, Lloyd?
So the next question, which I feel like is very apt, this one comes from Twitter. Considering that I think we were all a little surprised that they have a team meeting, players only,
every week.
So Sean Carter from Twitter. As for players, I know these struggles.
President Carter?
No, to the K.
The billionaire?
I'm a businessman. As for players, I know these struggles, if you may, hit home for y'all. The passion y'all have for the program is palpable. It's got smart. If you had 30 seconds to address the team as a whole today, what would you say?
If I had 30 seconds to address the team, I'll tell them.
29.
Huh? Okay, well, relax. I'll tell them that everything that you have worked for this entire year is still right in front of you. You've gone through a couple weeks of adversity. It's about how you respond to this. You've worked your way to this point. Everybody's here for a reason. You have the ability to perform and perform at a high level. Right now, you're just going through some things. It's up to you to fix it. It's not up to anybody else but yourself. You have to look at yourself. Hey, what do I need to do to make myself better, to be able to put myself in a situation to get us to Omaha and get us to the national championship game, to a place where we know that we're talented enough to be in a place where we should be. Don't add pressure to yourself. Just go out there and continue to work hard and continue to do the things that you need to do and understand what went wrong and fix it. The only person that can fix it is yourself.
I would tell them that the last 2 weeks does not define this team, but hell, neither does the 11-game win streak that they had early in the year, right? This is all a body of work trying to get to the end of the 56-game schedule, and getting to the end of the 56-game schedule, you still have a chance to do one of the huge goals you had as a team at the beginning of the year. Whether you do that goal or whether you don't is not your end-all be-all, because there should be other goals after that, right? When you're running a regional, winning the SEC tournament, winning a super regional, getting to Omaha and winning in Omaha, right? Those should all be on the board as well. So whether or not you actually do this first one does not determine if you do or do not do the rest of them, and they're all still there. So getting to the end of this point it's a cumulative of everything else you've done, the good and the bad. But now you're getting to the point where it's put up or shut up. And it really doesn't matter what series you dropped or what winning streak you had. It's all about that moment. Yep. And you've done all this to put yourself in a better position to get better opportunities at this moment. And
Season starts now.
Matters.
Season starts now. Postseason starts right now.
Yep.
And building off of that one, actually, Zach on Twitter says, did any of the teams y'all were on have a players-only meeting? Do you think it would help this team? Obviously, we just found out they meet a little bit. And what is the locker room like when the offense is doing all they can and the bullpen is costing you team games?
Did we have any players-only meetings?
Where do our meetings take place? No, you go. You finish it.
All right, so
it's 2009 now.
I'll give you the best players-only meeting we had, but I won't give you the whole thing. I'll just give you a part of it, right? We go game 2 loss against Texas in the World Series. We get on the bus where you would probably imagine it's super quiet and you can hear a pin drop. You're wrong. It wasn't that. We devised a plan to have a meeting in a certain person's room. We had the meeting there. A lot of things were said. A lot of things were done. A lot of them I wouldn't exactly I wouldn't say that they would be frowned upon. Let's just put it that way.
Not anything sexual either.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. I mean, frowned upon in the sense of
you're not the Suns.
If someone saw what was going on, they'd be like, yeah, I don't know if you guys should be doing that. Nothing crazy, but crazy enough to where we those things happen.
It brought everybody together.
It brought us all here, right? And it allowed us to go into that game 3, winner takes all, winner is a national championship with a very, very, very just loose and like, bro, we're here. Fuck it. Mindset. Like, this is what you asked for at the beginning of the year, the opportunity to do this. Here it is. So let's not take it too serious. Let's just have some fun with it. That was probably the most memorable team meeting I think I've ever had. And like I said, we did some things that were not necessarily encouraged, but nothing crazy. But it was good. It was fun. And everyone, and I guarantee you, everyone who was in that room, they all remember every single part of it. That's all.
Seemed to help. Helped you.
It did. There was some, yeah, they did.
It
There was actually, I'll give you this much of it. There was a certain player in there, Nick Ponov, who actually predicted I would homer that day.
Yeah, he did.
That night.
Yeah, he did.
After the loss of game 2, who predicted I would homer in the next game. So if you ever really get a chance to look at it, I think once I got in the dugout, like he was the first person I found. I was like, "Where are you,
Nicholas?"
Yeah, it was cool. So it's like it's just crazy because things came together and it was
So players only meetings are one of two ways. Like we had it to bring it wasn't like a rah get everybody back together. It was more of like a fun, funny,
not a
like,
state of emergency.
Yeah, and it was just like, hey, just let's loosen everybody up a little bit. Sometimes you have the serious ones. They have had one every week, which tells me that they don't panic. It's just it's a routine that they've done as far as the boys and make sure everybody's still on the same page, which I respect. I appreciate that. I think that's a good thing. Having one-off players meetings that aren't normal, like that to me is a sign of like panic. And I don't think they need that.
And truth be told, I guess you could say if you really wanted to tell the truth about it, we had players only meetings weekly. We just didn't talk about ball when we did it. It was Sunday routine. Show up.
Yep.
Have you a couple.
It shows
or 3
or 16.
7.
It shows the
Sunday
chemistry,
fun.
though. You know, like that's
That's it. That's what it's about.
That's
what
it was about.
Being
Really,
together.
that's what it was about. It was about attendance and being there and kind of being with each other, being a family, off and away from the baseball field.
Attendance was taken too.
Yeah. And I would be one to tell you too that I honestly think having those is what allowed having that last one, that ultimate one, be one like not so serious, but where people felt comfortable to do. They just felt comfortable around each other. You know what I mean? Like not like, oh man, it's the first time I've ever been around you outside of the clubhouse. Or what do we do?
Yep.
No, we've done this all year.
Jealous. From Cliff Hall Jr. on Twitter, what are some of Jay's strengths of the coach? What type of philosophy and culture do you think he's trying to develop at LSU? Are people not realizing the significance of our pitching injuries? A lot of questions from Cliff.
So
Unpack that triple
I think Jay's strengths as a coach is he treats these guys like they're professionals, right? He empowers them to be able to like be the player they want to be based off of like, hey, I'm going to trust you that you're going to put the work in, but he's also going to work harder than everybody else. He's at the field longer than everybody. If they want him to go hit at midnight, he's going to be there throwing them batting practice. So I think he instills that like culture and philosophy and like all those types of things. He's a great recruiter. He understands the new age type of baseball. And what was the last one? Oh, yeah, I guess people do realize the significance of the injuries, but that can't be an excuse. Like, yeah, you want those guys to be there, but you still got to win games. Like, it doesn't matter that they got hurt. You still have to figure out how to win games. And, that's just that's the reality of coaching at a school like this. But I do think that people do understand the significance of it.
I'm not sure too many people actually do understand the significance of it.
You're probably right.
So I don't think people are really like understanding exactly what you lost out of the back end of that pen. But like he said, there's no excuses, right? You still got to play the schedule. Everyone else has got to play the schedule, and everyone else is dealing with something as well. So just get it done. The first part of that is I think Jay, and he kind of touched on it maybe more than once when we've had him on this year, but I think one of his biggest strengths is something that seemingly he's worked on himself throughout the course of his coaching career, but his ability to actually just kind of stay even-keeled throughout the games, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, just trying to give that group of men a very, I guess, confident and strong presence as the leader of young men. I think he's done a good job of doing that too.
Agreed.
How many more do you want? We got a couple more. A lot of them are hitting on the bullpen. It feels like we've touched on that a good bit. But here's
a couple more.
Okay, from Jake on Instagram. What's a realistic outlook for the rest of the year? It feels like with the bullpen quickly fading, getting past the Super Bowl will be unlikely.
I don't know if it's been unlikely, but they do have to pitch better out the bullpen. Like the bullpen's gotta be able to throw a little bit better than they have been throwing to get out of the Super. But it's not unlikely for them to get to Omaha with the team that they have.
So to get out of a Super, you have to win a series. I find it hard to say it's unlikely that if I get 7 to 8 from Paul Skenes, and we have a lead that we can't win. I find it hard to say that it's unlikely that on game 2, if I get 6 or 7 from Ty Floyd, that for sure, 100% for sure, that our bullpen's going to come in and give up 3 innings and 9 runs every time out. So I think that's a crazy thing to say that it's unlikely that you can get out of a super, because basically you're saying they can't win a series, and they've showed you all year that they actually can, right? So I think that's a little far-fetched to say that, but with that being said, you still have to go and do it. And the last 2 weekends, they have not gone and done it.
Right.
And that's something that's going to be that they have to right the ship on.
Yeah,
so,
it's not far-fetched. Look, when you get to the postseason, man, like things change. Like guys turn it up a little bit more. Some guys don't push as well.
Sadly, I don't think people understand this. Sadly, more than you think, a lot of guys at this point of the year, especially the ones that are trying to establish themselves, right? Like it may not be your draft year. It may be your draft year. It doesn't really matter. But some guys are, more than you think, looking at numbers and trying to establish a quote-unquote numerical, like, good year. Once you get to the postseason, those numbers don't matter. So that mindset kind of drops.
Right.
And you just play for what's in front of you, which is winning. And right, wrong, or indifferent, it happens. People are human. To what level it happens, you can't really control how some people go about it. But it does happen in that regular season schedule. And I do think you're kind of at the tail end of maybe some guys trying to figure that thing out and maybe trying to make a good year. Like, I had a 5. If I throw this, I'll be at a 3 at the end of the year. Just play.
Or number watching like your average.
It's a thing. So, we'll see.
All right. Actually, we have one more. We have 2 more. This one just got sent in, though, via YouTube from DA. Ask Eminem, stupid question being the struggling bullpen we have had lately. Would pitching Skenes on a Saturday or 2 or 4 innings in a game make sense? Anything to get us back on track and to at least give us a shot? Thanks.
So you're saying instead of pitching Skenes
6,
throw him 2 games for 4?
I guess.
No. Can't do that. I mean, it's not a stupid question. I get it.
Works, right?
I get it. Like, you can't. I understand what you're saying, but I'd rather have Paul Skenes throw 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, however many innings he's going to throw on Friday and win that game, and then allow Ty Floyd to continue to hopefully build on this one and do it. But splitting him up to pitch 2 4-inning games, like you're still relying on the bullpen for a lot longer than you're going to rely for the rest of the weekend.
So coming off a weekend where our bullpen just went 10 and a third innings pitched and they gave up 27 hits and 21 earned runs, I would say if Paul Skenes threw 4 innings of no hit, shutout, 12 strikeout baseball on Friday, or are you saying that we for sure would win with those numbers? So I would rather have him out there for sure as long as I can when he's throwing that one time to try to get closer to make sure I get 1 W.
Yeah.
We'll figure out the rest on the other end.
And I'm not saying this question is dumb. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm just, explaining in a way that, I get what you're saying, like, we can get him out there more, but if that doesn't necessarily mean that you're basically going to win just because he left leading when he leaves.
Sometimes when you're going through these types of struggles, it's best not to try to reinvent the wheel.
There you go.
Because
it's a game of averages.
By doing that, you are now putting everybody in a situation that they're not used to. Right? And that's not something that you probably would want to do, especially at this point in the season.
Yeah, that would. I mean, imagine if they tried to make a change.
And everybody out there saying, Ben McDonald started on Friday, he used to close on Sunday, that ain't happening. Okay?
If there's anybody that can do it.
Yeah, that ain't happening, though.
No.
Ain't happening.
Number 1 or 2 pick.
Ain't happening.
Coming up.
Going to happen.
Me and Gabe Borker in the same situation. Last question here. Buddy's bachelor trip to Omaha in June. Will Mik'd Up make it up to Nebraska?
I would like to.
I would like to.
I would like to be up there.
We are trying to make plans.
We are trying to make that happen.
Get there as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Y'all are in a better spot than, I still believe in the team, but knowing that we're already locked into the trip, and if there's no LSU baseball, I don't know if it'll be the exact same amount of fun.
They also making a good time.
Yeah, the zoo is great.
Zoo's great.
So
there's gonna be a lot of stuff happening out there. It's still gonna be a good time. Still a good experience.
From there.
Zoos and booze.
Let me know because I'll be.
You're driving up there, or are you flying?
I think we're driving.
Oh, so you could bring all the stuff.
Yes. Well, okay. I don't know. I don't want to be.
Yeah, responsible because I'm flying, so that probably wouldn't be good to fly.
I can bring it, but
we'll figure it out.
I don't know where I'll be.
We'll figure it out. All right.
Team meeting.
That's it.
That is it.
That's the last question. We appreciate all the questions between Ask Mikey and Mitch. We appreciate all the guests. Appreciate all the support. Jack, you want to give a shout out to somebody?
Yes, Mr. Blake Press, fan of the show. On Saturday, couldn't make it to the box, so he sent me 2 tickets and a parking pass that were intended for me and Lloyd, but Lloyd bailed.
I didn't bail. We had a Brian Kelly thing that popped up.
Yeah, popped up.
There you go.
But,
Yeah.
But I used them, had a great time, even though the boys fell short.
Yep.
But I wanted to shout out Blake
There you
for
go.
giving the show the tickets.
Give me another opportunity.
Yep.
Love to bebop around the stadium.
And I want to shout out to our newest sponsor, Land Rover. If you see the nice little logo above the ticker, our ticker is sponsored by Land Rover. Actually, it's not just above it; it's on the ticker too, as well.
There you go.
Land Rover Peretti here in Baton Rouge, great people. Jay Mitch, appreciate you for introducing us to them. We appreciate Land Rover for being partners of the show, being sponsors of the show, and my wife is in the market for a new car, so.
And whoever else maybe go on down,
working on
give
it.
a visit to them, check them out, man. They do a great job, man. There's great people over there, great service, great product.
Shout out. And then since it was a long show, we had a bunch of questions. I know that everybody wanted to hear answers. We didn't do our Doe's mistake of the day, but shout out to our friends down at Doe's. They obviously bring out a pretty nice product over there, and they've been great friends of the show since day one. One of the day one sponsors. Appreciate all of that. So appreciate all the sponsors. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate all of you watching and listening and subscribing. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube page. If you don't watch us and you can't watch us and you like to travel and you like to listen to us, anywhere you get your podcasts, we will be live again in studio on Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. It'll be Jay Johnson Wednesdays. We will have him on the show. Actually, I got to talk to him. He's going to come on the show, but they're probably going to be leaving on Wednesday.
May have to pre-record.
Yeah.
Oh, don't let him peek behind the curtain.
No, I mean, not have to. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll get him before you get on. Because I'd imagine they're probably going to leave. Oh, no.
Play Tuesday.
And they play in Athens on Thursday. They're going to fly.
This is your call. I don't know.
No, they're probably going to fly Wednesday morning.
Oh, so he might be settled.
Because there's no school. So he'll be settled over there. We'll figure it out.
And it's probably a blessing in disguise that it's on a Wednesday after the last 2 series. Get them to calm down. We don't get the. I don't feel like talking about it, boys. But
Maybe
I don't think Jay would do that.
they'll go the pro route and just leave after the game tomorrow.
I wouldn't put it past Jay. I feel like he's
Plane?
Yeah, they fly. You fly to Athens.
Yeah, he's flying there. Yeah.
Again, appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the support. We'll be back again live in studio, 6 to 8 p.m. No show this Friday. Lloyd is caddying for his friend. No, he's not caddying. He's playing.
I'm playing.
You're playing in a member guest. And then our backup point guard is also out of town. And it's okay.
We have one more in the holster if you want to have the show.
It's okay. No show on Friday. It's okay to have one off. The series starts on Thursday. We will try to give you some content regardless of us not actually being live in studio. But we will be live Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Appreciate all the support. See you on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Peace.